not growing, it's because your stuff sucks or you're just not putting out enough volume. And in this video, I'm going to show you when to use quantity and when to use quality. My name is Val. I'm an operator. I help educators scale their business, and I have a portfolio over $250,000. And I'm going to show you 2 client examples where they use quantity versus quality to scale. And especially you are a creator with a bigger following, you have a lot of traffic, you have a lot of views, but you're not monetizing effectively. That's really a mind fuck because a lot of people believe more is better, right? But the truth is views do not equal conversions. This is the biggest epiphany I had this year, and I wish to save you the mistakes I've made to realize this so you can avoid them and reach your goals quicker. And I've worked with a lot of big YouTubers, some have 120K plus, and this was a really hard lesson to learn because it's so counterintuitive, but I realized that's what works best. And for an example, I've helped a high-ticket coach this year scale over 20K months, and they only have 160K subs. And this is really funny but sad because that's a lot more money than a lot of creators who have big audiences out there. And they're missing opportunities to help serve more people, which makes me really sad. And a little bit of a story time. Client example number 1, this fella has a huge following, especially on YouTube, 125K plus on YouTube. And I realized something interesting is that they have a lot of growth because of shorts and reels, right? And there's 2 big takeaways from this: time spent with prospects and quality time spent with prospects. So let's assume the average person needs around 2 hours spent with you for them to trust and be excited and wanting to invest in your services and offer, right? This numerically, right? If you are pumping out a lot of short form and the reels are around 15 seconds, that means there'd be 4 reels to equal a minute, 60 of those to equal an hour, and 2 of those to equal the 2 hours needed. That's 480 reels. Let that sink in. If you were to post 1 reel per day, you would need more than a year in order to nurture that prospect enough for them to buy. That's insane. So let's look at this plane analogy really quick. So you have this plane and you want to take it off. You want to go to the moon, right? This runway, however, proposes a problem. It's too small. And this is really when the funnel matters. Because let's assume leads don't purchase as soon as they see your video, right? Which is most people, it's pretty normal. They need a little bit more information to make a wise decision. And so, especially in terms of nurture, this run rate represents the amount of info we need to tell a prospect to make a purchasing decision, right? So in order to have this plane take off, our goal with short form is to redirect them to a longer form of content. And in doing so, you're going to have a longer runway. You're going to have more time spent with them and hopefully more quality time spent with them. So this big plane, this big brand, this big dreams you have with the big impact you want to make is actually possible with this bigger runway. And so to give you more context, this individual in New Year's was like, I have a goal to hit 52 videos on YouTube, pump 1 out every week. I also want to write a book. And so they were going through the motions. They would sit in front of the camera, they would yap, they would then edit it and then post it. The problem was the quality was being sacrificed for the quantity. And my advice to them was hey, I had to have a really tough conversation. I was like, you're doing an exceptional job posting out creatives every week, every month, but I think the quality could improve. Every time we met, they would tell me these insane, phenomenal, awesome, unique framework ideas, but would never share them with his audience. And I was like, why don't you spend more time to write all these things in the pre-production, so when you do go to record, you have insane depth and clarity and amazing refined ideas. So that was my advice to them. And they were going through this phase in their lives where they're moving houses, so they didn't really post for 1 month. And they created 5 phenomenal videos, which when we posted, the results were insane. Which, before I explain, this is really counterintuitive. They were just trying to put numbers out, support their family. And so for me to say, stop what you're doing and don't do anything and just do less was mindfuck for them, right? So the results from that advice, which I'm very glad that they took, was those videos had amazing performance. Their viewership was insane. there were so many positive comments. There had people raving about it. They're like, I've never seen this being taught this way before. I'm sharing this with my friends and family. This helped me so much. This is actually in the fitness space. And so because they were able to provide better and higher quality value, a byproduct of all of this was actually doubling the business. We doubled revenue. And even more, what I'm most excited about and happiest and proudest of them about is that because their ideas were so unique and refined, their frameworks were exceptional and, just some of the best in the industry, there was this huge third party who was like, I'm noticing your stuff and I would love to write this article about you. And they did, which was awesome because it's going to help them reach their goals to be a more thought leader, a more prominent figure in the industry. And there's so many things I learned from this experience, but to give you a little bit bite-sized was we implemented attribution sourcing. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's simply seeing what platforms the prospects are coming from, right? And I learned about first day attribution sourcing, last day attribution sourcing, which means where did they first find you and where was the last place they kind of like nudged them to convert. And it's super interesting because they also implemented a flow for the videos. So after watching one video, it would redirect you to the next one and not only increase the likelihood of time spent, but increase the amount of value provided, right? You just solved the problem. This could be the next thing you face. And it was just like this really awesome customer or like roadmap for them. Awesome. But the big takeaways was if you focus on quality and depth, you will succeed in the long run. And they are really keen on growing a low ticket community on school. And so this has had huge effects since we first launched those videos, and 800 videos on YouTube. And they were, trudging along, just kind of going through the motions. They didn't spend time seeing which was the high performers. Why were they the high performers? What can you take and implement and kind of like do again from a different perspective to provide more value to the audience? So there's all these little key takeaways that I learned in this experience, and I hope that you take it as well. And this is all in terms of quality, right? And so what if you already have quality? This is client example number 2, right? This individual is the go-to leader in their niche, in their space. They have exceptional long-form videos and lessons and instructional stuff. And so what we realize is that less is more. And the big takeaway from the other guy is that you've done all these awesome things to grow your audience, but to reach that next level that you're wanting to go, it's not the stuff you've currently been doing. It has to be new stuff. And to do more, this person, we realized a little bit of a problem. So systems will grow until they are constrained, right? And we realized the constraint is that they're a PhD student, he's a smart noodle, he's traveling the world right now to attend conferences, he has a family, he's a father, he has all this, there's just so much chaos in this individual's life that sitting down and record content, more of it, is kind of hard right now. So what are we gonna do to solve this problem? So they have a lot of really high quality videos sitting on YouTube, and the most leveraged thing that I can help with them with, especially as their operator, is to increase brand awareness through clipping. Taking small nuggets, small moments of value from these big kahunas and distributing them to more platforms, to more people, to help more people is kind of the goal. And so to explain this, what even is a brand, right? Let's assume a brand is providing information over a period of time about who we are, what we're about, and our specific unique way of doing things. And so this is obviously a funnel, and we know that this funnel pyramid represents your audience, and the very top is the buyers, right? The people who are wanting and willing to invest. Everybody else is pretty much fans. They find value from your stuff, they share it, but they're just not, making an investment, which is totally cool because our goal is to help the most amount of people, right? And so how do we grow the top part of this pyramid? Well, to do that, it's kind of obvious. If you are able to grow this bottom part of the pyramid, inherently the top part will grow with it. So if we are able to find a way to create more awareness, naturally we will be able to scale our business. And so my thesis is, if I can help this individual, if I can help grow a creative team that will help them with their brand, with their base, then we can reach 7 figures by 2026. And the cool part is that we have high quality videos, we have a brand, we have an amazing product. People are raving about it, they're sharing it with all their friends. There's third parties, conferences that are looking at us and pretty much allowing us to send our students out. It's a whole awesome thing. And what we need is to grow the amount of creatives. So this has been 2 examples of quality and quantity with 2 clients I'm currently working with. And I hope you found this valuable. And I hope that you guys have an awesome day and continue building awesome stuff to help more people.